really, I was properly crossed, and I was totally in awe of. I'm telling you, I was totally broken. But if you are hearing me very clear, let me know, because I'm going to say some things. Probably I can help somebody to really think and think again, because sometimes the temptation to let your emotions overtake your reasons. Thank you so much, people, that you can hear me. All right. So for the last week, I've had literally hell on earth. Literally, I've not felt so heavy in a very, very long time. And sometimes when people don't understand your passion, and even before I go into it, let me make it known to the enemies of the cross, those who think they can scoop and look for death and put it on us. I have news for you. You don't even know what you are dealing with, because for some of us, you can look very deep even to hell, and you cannot find anything dirty on us. So keep trying, keep hoping, because the life you live, you think some of us are living your filthy lives. But I assure you, not everybody goes so low to the gutter. Some of us at least have a little sense of decency. So please, please, you can, and those bloggers who think they can, sometimes it's so pathetic, but you just have to let it be, because this is the world we live in. But let me talk about what I want to talk about. Please, I see all of you. Ronnie Mitchell, Wanji Espina. I see Daniel Samuel Lion, but I see you. I see Safira Laveta Nyako. Please bless all of you for joining us. Vincent Anowi, I see all of you. And I've never received so many phone calls in my life. I've never received so many phone calls in my life. Unbelievable phone calls. And people who have never known me before, people who are just seeing me for the first time. First Lady Sandrine Raymond, bless you for joining us. Cindy Vice, bless you for joining us. Bless you, Kofi. DJ Ofa Kofi Nako, bless you for joining us. Wanji Espina, bless you so much. Really humble to have you guys here. This is unplanned. Normally, I'm supposed to be working around this time. But the whole week, I've had this heaviness on me that going out is even become difficult for me. I go out and I come back home because I'm not in my elements. You know, I was to do a service last Sunday, and I was wondering even if I could preach, because I woke up very heavy from my bed. I just couldn't believe myself. What in the last few days, the things I have heard, the things people have tried to say, the overwhelming emotions that comes with it for me. And it is about still the same story. About the story of my friend Sylvester Ofori, where everything is gone so bizarre. But I want us to talk as human beings. And I want us to look beyond emotions and ask important questions. Think beyond emotions and think about important questions that you need to ask yourself. And this is what I'm going to say. You never make judgments until you have the full story. Any judgment you make void of the completeness of the story, you are coming from a prejudicial point of view, and the chances of you saying things that you're not supposed to say, it's so overwhelmingly high that you will have done what you will do and later realize that you've said something out of emotional anger, and you said it because you were inconsiderate, you took yourself out, and you felt it can never happen to you. These are the questions I ask. What will make a man who had everything going for him, and I'll say this till I die, I am never going to stand anywhere. I am never going to stand anywhere, irrespective of the circumstances, and say I don't know Sylvester or say anything bad about Sylvester. What has happened is a tragedy. What has happened should not have happened, could have been avoided, but it has happened. And I am not going to throw my friend away because of this tragic incident. But I want to raise a few questions. I want to raise a few questions to a few thinking people who are going to sit down and separate their emotions from reasoning and ask questions that what will make a young man who had everything going for him, all of a sudden in the middle of nowhere, in a twinkling of an eye, let everything slip out of his hands? Do you think anybody in their mind will build something and throw it away? And I'm hearing a whole lot of damning things. People who have once benefited from this young man going about, whether in public or in their secret places, demonizing this young man, calling him all sort of names because of what has happened between him and his wife. I know, yes, a life is lost. Two friends I know are no more with us. One might be physically here, but is not with us. And I'm hearing names that people are calling this young man. That he was an occult, he was a drunkard, he was this, he was that, he was broke, he didn't have anything. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Is this how we treat people and never ask beyond the physicality and ask, what on earth was going through this young man's mind? What on earth was happening to this young man? Who in his right mind? And some of the stories I hear, I'm wondering, I'm asking myself, Nana, what will make me, Nana Agyei, one, want to build a successful ministry within a short time, and then turn around and say, I don't believe in this thing anymore? What are the things that will influence me to get to that point? To get to that point of saying, I don't believe in this thing I have done all these years, and that the position I'm going to take now will cost me everything I've built over the years, yet I want to go that way. Who in their right mind does that? And I'm telling you, if anybody thinks, I've seen people send me messages, condemn him, condemn what he did was wrong. Nobody says killing somebody is right. But I am telling you, murder is not an act. It is a process. But what leads somebody who had everything going for him decide to throw them away? It's not even a decision. What are the things that have influenced this young man? And I, Nana Agyei, till I go down in my grave, I will not turn my back on a friend because he went through something that probably he couldn't handle. Doesn't make him an evil person. Something bad has happened. I am not going to demonize somebody, just like some of you are going to feel that because we have not found you in your acts, you are so self-righteous to destroy them now. But I sit behind. I've had my moments of crying. I've had my moments of reflection. I've had my moments of sitting down and asking myself a lot of questions. See, honestly, after my mother died in 1992 and my father died in 1993 and my junior brother died in 2006, I lost the ability to cry about anything. When people die, I see it as normal. But until last Tuesday, I have not been broken for a very long time. Then I realized somebody close to me, even though we lived worlds apart, I realized I had come to love this young man. I have come to appreciate what he is doing. And my worry now, today I was speaking to one of my mothers in the UK here, who somebody sent the report to her that I saw your son blasting people on social media. And bless her heart, this woman loves me like her own son. She does most things for me. And she calls me today and tells me, Nana, what is going on? I hear something is happening with you. And I told her the story. By the time I got through half of the story with her, I saw she got emotional about it. She said, Nana, I don't even know the guy. But this story you are saying to me now is so tragic. I said, Mama, I don't understand. People think I am a stone-hearted human being who is so rigid, so robust that I don't care. People, I care. But I stand for what is right. And I will not, any day, any time, turn my back on Prophet Sylvester. And I'm going to tell you why. When I met Sylvester in 2018, he was not awkward. I never met a guy who was drinking. I don't know what people do in their secret lives, including you. I don't know what people do in their secret lives, including you. I never met a guy who drinks. I never met a guy who showed me any sign of occultism. I am not God. I don't know everything. I am not even that highly spiritual. But I never saw a man who was a drunkard. I never saw any person who was drinking. And for that person who went so low and so cheap to write bad and evil, damning things about Barbara, I think, you people are so insensitive. And you are writing these damning things about somebody you don't know. But to make stories, you cannot paint Barbara black to justify anything. And I am telling you, Sylvester is not an evil person. Sylvester was not always what has happened. Sylvester was not always what has happened. What has happened is tragic. This is not the man. Something had gone wrong. And see, when I did that video, I was really angry. I was with very terrible emotions. I was really, really angry. I just couldn't understand how we can be so wicked in the midst of trouble. This guy was not always like this. I had a black American woman call me, a minister of the gospel. She called me and she was almost in tears on the phone and said, Apostle, do you believe that he shot his wife? I said, yes, he did. But what made him do that, I will never know. I am thinking, I am praying I can understand this. Because there are a few things that do not add up for me. It doesn't make sense to me. I really don't understand. I met a man who is so calm. Sylvester, I will not even look at Sylvester and think he can kill an ant. He's a very calm, respectful person who was doing something successful. He had built a beautiful ministry. Until this happened, he wasn't occult. Until this happened, he wasn't a drunkard. That is how he has been labeled after his calamity. This is how he has been painted after this tragedy. This is how the picture some want to paint for a man they never met, never know, never heard of. But all of a sudden, under the influence of anger and emotion, and sometimes just the hatred for the church and the clergy, we want to crash with the least opportunity presented to us. And now, this thing happened to Sylvester. Everybody is now demonizing this guy, calling him all sorts of names, including those who have gone to benefit from him. And when I said it, they hired their boys to do their dirty works for them, to pick a video where people were giving offering in the church, and I'm standing in front of the pulpit, and it is interpreted as they were giving the money to me. If you have ever been to church before, which we take offerings, nobody apologizes for taking offerings in the church. But if you have any sense of decency and dignity, you will know that the offering that are coming in the church is not for me. It is going to the church. The church does not belong to me. Yes, when I go to preach for some pastors, they bless me. Some don't. Some even will jilt you. Some will make you come and preach for them, and they'll tell you, Apostle, you will hear from us. And ask any preacher I have ever preached for if I have ever charged them or asked them for money. Ask them. Any preacher who said I have ever preached for them, ask them, how much did they give to me? I told the church secretary just this week that they said I came to take money from your church. The woman has been broken for a very long time. She was crying, but she laughed when I made that statement. She said, Apostle, when you came to our church, you are the preacher who got almost to nothing. I said, they said the offering they were putting on the floor. A blogger in Germany thinks he can destroy my name. I don't want to talk about his story and why he has this hatred and be looking for me. But I assure him, he will find what he's looking for before he finds me. He will never find me. I won't give him that attention he's seeking for. He will never find me. He should resurrect his career. He should forget about. He will not use me to revive his career. Because if I went there for money, I will have forgotten about this issue because he will not be my business. But I'm raising important issues. Sylvester wasn't an occult until he killed his wife. This tragedy happened, he became an occult. This tragedy happened, he became an alcoholic. This tragedy happened, demons started following him. Listen, I am not interested in your stories. You can say anything you want to say. But I pray that in the day of your trouble, may you never find anybody to stand for you. May people turn your story till it has crushed you because you were not lenient. Hey, who builds a ministry? I have been around many men of God. I've gone around churches. I've not seen a young man like that does that in no time. And so he became an occult because he was successful. And now they are calling him all sorts of names. They are calling him all sorts of names. He's a drunkard. He's an occult. He had no money. He was suffering. That is why he decided he was going to kill his wife because his wife was leaving him. If a preacher can put somebody in a 7-star hotel, is that a preacher who is broke? If a preacher can put somebody in a 7-star hotel, is that a preacher who is broke? That if his wife leaves him, he must kill his wife? That's one. Two, we all saw the video where Sylvester was beaten. I want to ask you a moral question. If somebody beats me, if my wife's brother comes to beat me in my house, who will I want if I want to kill, if I want to revenge? Is it my wife who beat me that I'll go and shoot her? Or his brother who beat me that I'll go after the brother? Why did Sylvester not go after the brother but went after the wife? I bet that question doesn't bother you because truly you don't care about Barbara or Sylvester. You just want to vent out your hatred against people, against the church, and against the leadership of the church. When Sylvester was inviting men of God there, he wasn't evil. When he was doing all the things he was doing, he wasn't evil. I told you, listen. Why I was trying to reach Sylvester and couldn't was when my friend had decided he didn't want to be part of the faith anymore. That is another issue I raised. Why will somebody build a church like this and then decides, I'm going to start to teach something in the church which has 99.9% chance of crashing the entire church and me going to lose the ministry, but yet I want to go this way? Who does this? These are questions. My head this week have been so heavy. Sometimes I can't even pray. I'm thinking. I'm so sad in my heart. I'm asking questions. Why would a young man like this throw everything away? I don't have answers. The more I think about it, the sadder I become. I don't have answers. When I visited his church the first time, and I saw what he has done, I held the microphone and I was speechless. And for a minute or so, all I could say was, wow, wow. In my mind, I'm asking, this young man has done something fantastic. What he needs is help. People who want to stand with him. He wasn't an evil man when he was successful. And people were behind, sowing seeds of wickedness. And I'm going to say some of the things that we had in conversations. And when I went there, really the church had gone down. So I wanted to know what has happened. And then I made the shocking deductions that people had come to his church. People had come to his church. And this is why they are sending their bloggers to do the dirty work for them. But Nana Agyei, you see, I'd rather die telling the truth than joining a gang of wickedness. I was told people had come there to do church for him. People he respected. And they will call his church members to see them in their hotels. That I have seen so and so. Come and give me $3,000. I have seen so and so. Come and sow this amount of behind his back. Men he has trusted, a young man. Think about this. Sylvester is only 35 years. I am getting to my 50s. I am not a small boy. I've been around for some time. I am almost 50 years. I'm not a small boy. So when I deal with people, I can realize Sylvester was only 35. When I met him, he was 33 years. A young man. So do the mathematics yourself. Floodgates in Florida is only 6 years old. And the pastor is now 35 years. When he built this church, he probably was like 28 years old. He is a young man. When did he become a minister of God? How many years has he been ministering? How many years has this boy been preaching? I've been in the church for the last 25 years. I have preached 19 years of the 25 years. I've been a loud voice. I am rugged. I am ruthless. But there are days that we even crumble and fall. I have seen men who have been in the ministry longer than I was, whose ministry challenges have hit them, and some have committed suicide. I have seen people who have preached for many years, and calamity hits them, and they commit suicide and die. So I am thinking, this young man had not seen a lot of the troubles of life. Yet, when he trusted people who he thought will help him grow, they came to the church to call people out. Meet me in my hotel. I have seen this. And you need to sow $3,000 and I will do some direction for you. This guy was telling me. And I realized after 2019, my last physical encounter with Prophet Sylvester, when I came back to the UK, I started seeing that things are changing. That my friend had brought in somebody to teach some strange things. That he's aligned himself to Bishop Carlton Pearson. And when I saw it, my heart was broken because I know Bishop Carlton Pearson. Growing up in the church, he was one of the men we look up to. If you ever appreciated biblical intellectuality and you knew Bishop Carlton Pearson, you will admire his excellence, his level of biblical theological knowledge. One of the finest of Oral Roberts University. He was not your ordinary average preacher. And Bishop Carlton Pearson leaves the church. Listen, he had a mega church. Starts to teach these things in his church, and he loses his mega church. He loses his mega church, loses his own house, and the man lost everything. Yet he kept saying his new thing, this energy worship, all this all-inclusive doctrine. When I saw my friend follow Bishop Carlton Pearson, I knew the tendency of losing everything had just kicked in. I saw the video he was doing with this Simon guy. And I started sending messages that, my prophet, what is this? I was condemning the teaching. I was condemning the teaching because I just couldn't believe why a young man want to throw everything away, because I knew what he was doing will not benefit him in any way. I called his senior brother and said, Odifo, prophet, please, I want to speak to your brother. He's my friend. I've preached for him. For somebody to invite me to their house and trust me with his congregation. Listen to what I am saying. For somebody to trust me, he has never seen me before. He only saw me on Facebook and trusted that what I am saying is authentic. And that he allows me to come to his church that he has built. I didn't build that church. I have never won a soul for that church. He doesn't know me from Adam. He loved me from a distance and brought me to his church, paid for my ticket, paid for my hotel, paid for the food I ate 1 week I stayed there. I will not come back and speak evil about this man. No, it doesn't matter what has happened. Sylvester will still be a friend till I die. I am not in any way going to turn my back on my friend. A friend lost at all times. This is a guy who brought me to his church, trusted me with his congregation, that I will not tell them lies, that I will not manipulate his congregation, that I will not call them to my hotel in spite of the pain he has experienced. He trusted yet another stranger, me. So I was concerned that he can't not lose that church. He can't lose that church. He's paid too much to let that church go. Young man built a ministry so beautiful. Why will he want to throw it away? But people, sometimes when you have never been betrayed so bad, you don't understand the pain of betrayal. Men can betray you so hard, you might turn yourself against God. Men can betray you so bad, the same God that you once worshipped will become the God you vilify. Haven't you known that the most nastiest of atheists are the ones who used to be in the church and left? People who fight so hard against the church were once people who were in the church, and the church wounded them so bad, they made the church their eternal enemy and decided as long as they live, they will fight the church tooth and nail, even if it cost them their lives. My friend was wounded. My friend was pushed out of the path. My friend was so much cut, plus family issues that I can't talk about details because I don't know. And for those of you saying all those nasty things about Sylvester, when I spoke to Barbara, may her soul rest in perfect peace. When I spoke to Barbara on the 22nd, and I was trying to find out what the problem was, 2 questions I asked Barbara. Barbara, are you leaving the marriage because your husband is teaching this new doctrine? Barbara told me in clear language, and I said this upon my own life. Barbara said this to me in clear language. She said, Apostle, I did not leave my husband because of what he was teaching. Contrary to that, I stood with him. I believe my husband was looking for a new thing, and I was not going to turn my back on him. I was quiet on the phone. I said, this woman must love the husband. And she said this to me, which forever will make Barbara earn my trust and respect. She said to me, Apostle, I cannot say anything bad about Sylvester because he's not here to defend himself. So let's leave it like that, but I'm just trying to move on. And this all Barbara said. She wouldn't make any accusation. She said, Apostle, I just want to move on. Apostle, and I said, Barbara, the way you are talking to me, you love your husband. Because every woman will begin to rant and tell me how evil that guy is. But you are telling me you will not lift accusation against your husband because he's not in this conversation to defend himself. There are those of you who are insinuating that there was domestic violence. Those who have watched her sister's interviews, which she's granting everywhere, the lady said that Barbara did not leave the marriage because of domestic violence. She left because she found Sylvester was dealing in occultic practices. Hey, 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 hey. When Barbara was alive, Barbara didn't tell me she saw the husband in occultic practice. At least I preached in their church. At least she knows I wasn't in for the new doctrine. So she could have told me that, Apostle, I found him doing occult. But Barbara told me, Apostle, I can't say anything negative about Sylvester. He is not even here to defend himself. 9 weeks, listen people, you see, sometimes when I don't know a story, I don't want to talk about it because I might say something out of pain and anger and misunderstanding. But the people are saying, oh, he's a prophet and he did this. Listen carefully. My friend Sylvester had gotten to a point that Sylvester left the church, his own church. He left the church in the hands of his senior armor bearer. That he's no more a prophet. He doesn't practice this thing anymore. He left the church for 9 weeks before this thing happened. For 9 weeks before this thing happened, Sylvester had stopped going to church. He stopped going to the church. And that grieves my heart that a man who once preached the gospel will leave the gospel to whatever life I don't know. And this tragedy will befall him. That a man once preached the gospel and leaves the gospel, and this tragedy befalls him. People, there's no amount of accusation. Sylvester had ceased to be a prophet before this thing happened. He had left the faith. He was following a new direction. So those of you who are happy to look for fault where you don't have explanation for your fault, those of you who try to look for fault where you don't even have explanation for fault, before you say a prophet killed his wife, he had left the church. 9 weeks before this thing happened, he had not stepped a foot in the church. 9 weeks before this happened, because I was trying to reach him. The last time I reached Mama Vena was 7 weeks. Mama Vena told me, for 7 weeks, prophet has not been here. He doesn't come here anymore. He's left the church. And Kofi Friday was the one who was now handling the church because he had left it to go and follow the new teachings he was on. So for you are so busy trying to look for death at all cost that he was an occult and he needed blood. He needed blood to go to prison. He needed blood to go to prison. He needed blood to do what? To build what in prison? People of God, before you judge, sit down and ask yourself the questions. What was really happening? I've been thinking for all this week, what will make my friend do what he did? What these people loved each other. What will make him do this thing? It wasn't Barbara who beat him. Why did he go after Barbara? What had Barbara done to him? If he wanted to revenge, he should have revenged the guy who beat him. Why didn't he go look for his brother? And then you find a lady comes out. You find a lady comes out and now also accuses Sylvester's brother of another crime. Huh? Whatever a man shall sow, that shall he also reap. Please just think about this thing. It was Barbara's brother who beat him. Why is he going after Barbara? No, does it make sense? Please, please. Let us sit down and ask. Let us sit down and ask, why will a young man want to throw his life away? So you think this is normal? You think this is normal? You think what happened just happened? That today, look at what people are saying. Hey, it pains my heart. Oh, he was a drunkard. He was drinking. The same man who was a man of God, who gave you money, gave you hospitality, now he's a drunkard. Now he's an occult. Now he wants blood to drink. People, what the people involved doesn't want to go into details. Who am I from behind to go into details? Those in their marriage will talk about the marriage. How can we outsiders be talking about what was inside when you and I were not there? How can you and I, who are outsiders, be able to talk about what was inside when none of us was there? How will this happen to a young man like, I'm wondering, I am many years older than Sylvester, and I'm asking myself, what will make a young man like this want to throw everything away? Still, I don't know. Seriously, I'm trying to think about this. It's making me sick. I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out what, and see, thank all of you who have been calling. There have been some nice people who are calling and ask Apostle, let's pray for him. Because those who can think the way I am thinking, only says, Apostle, this does not make sense. There must be more than meets the eye. Why will somebody build a church, a thriving, growing church, and all of a sudden, decide to go on a path that would destroy everything that he has built? Why? I don't understand. So that's why I can't judge what I don't understand. Why will a young man in his prime, even if his wife was leaving him, is that a ground for killing? What will you benefit? What benefit has come out of he killing his wife? What benefit has he gotten from killing his wife? Of what value is this rage for? What is the value? This is the question I'm asking. What value what did he get? He lost everything. Do you think people plan that I'm going to destroy my life? It's not just Barbara's life. It's not just Barbara's life. He destroyed his own life. And do you think this young man in the right frame of thinking wants to destroy his wife and destroy his life and everything he has built, his family, the lady's family? Do you think people do this? I don't know what will hit you that you will not be able to handle. But as you are talking about other stories, please put an eye on your own story, because one of these days, it will be you. One of these days, it will be you. I've been thinking about it. Why didn't he go and look for the brother? Why did he go for Barbara? Barbara didn't do him anything. Barbara was even intervening. Barbara was stopping them. Why must he go and shoot Barbara? For what? There's more to the story than meets the eye. And I'm telling you, this boy started drifting after he felt misled. He felt disappointed. He felt let down. And he started slipping. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If Kofi Friday will want to come on live and talk, there were some preachers, he even said, I won't drive them. I won't drive them because I don't trust them. So I won't drive them in my car because I don't trust them. Sure? If we say we are Christians, let us not know men after the flesh. There is more to this story than meets the eye. I'm telling you. There is more to this story than meets the eye. So keep talking. Keep talking. Because you are quick to condemn a man about something you don't understand. But I've told you, murder is not an act. Murder is a process. And whatever led from point A to point Z, if you just jump from A to Z, you will never appreciate what is happening. And I said this to Barbara. I said, Barbara, if there is an abuse in this marriage, if there is, I don't know. If there is an abuse in this marriage, anyone who has ever abused somebody has done that 1,000,000 times to themselves. Any person who has once abused anybody has done that 1,000,000 times to themselves. They are not happy with something in them. They are suffering from something and they don't know how to articulate it. And it makes them pour out that anger on people they love. They don't do it at outside because they have done that 1,000,000 times to themselves. They've killed themselves 1,000,000 times. They've bruised themselves 1,000,000 times. And if you don't have a compassionate heart, you look at abusers and you think they are all right but just want to hurt other people. They themselves are a hurting, miserable people. They are hurting themselves. But we are so quick to call demons in situations we don't understand. Every person who has ever abused somebody has done that 1,000,000 times to themselves. Instead of us helping, we are out here calling names. Sylvester was not an occult. When did you know that he was an occultic person? When did you know that Sylvester was occultic? When? Why didn't you say it all these years? When did you know that Sylvester was a drunkard? Is it after you took his money or before you were going to take his money? Was it before you were put in the expensive hotels or after you came out of the hotels? When did you know that he was a blood-sucking vampire? When did you know? When did you know? People, we should be very careful how we jump to destroy what we don't understand. When did you know Sylvester was an occult? When? When did we know? What happened was bad, was terrible. But I want to ask the question, what will make a man want to throw everything away? What makes a man want to do this? You can do it. You can do it. For in all of us, we are all potential devils. All of us who think we are all right. We are all potential devils. But when it happens to you tomorrow, the same names they are calling one is the names they will call you. This is what I sat down and said, Nana, if you go down tomorrow, you will hear what they will say about you. Watch this and learn. Watch this. In my local dialect, they say when the contractor is pulling other people's houses down, and your house is not in the line of the houses that are being pulled down, you will say the contractor's eye is very straight until your house comes in line. I saw this and I said, Nana, it can be you. Anything can happen. It can be you. It can be you. It can be you. It can happen to any one of us. Maybe you will not pick a gun. You will just push your wife and she will fall off the stairs and die. And we will come and call you occult. Yes. We will find a reason when we don't have one. When I saw the videos, I met Sylvester in person. I've met him in person. When I saw the video, I said, this is not the guy I know. Something is going on. Something here. But people, let us, in the process of even grieving, be very careful what we say, because all the things you and I will say, good, bad, and ugly, won't change anything. And for most of you, you don't even look at the case itself. You don't look at the merit of the case. You're not asking the most important. You are very separated from the case. Some of you are saying things not because you love Barbara. You don't even care about Barbara. You don't care about her. You don't even know her. How can you even care about her? But you are speaking, I don't know, out of your own pain or out of your own experience, and then you come out with your own anger and say about things you are not even thinking. But I am sitting there and asking myself, this thing can happen to me. I can get angry and just push my wife, and then she hits her head to something and she dies. And the next day I'll be an occultic, blood-sucking preacher who has always been an occult but has now been found. This will be my description. That this guy who used to come and sit on Facebook, he was an occult. He was an alcoholic. He was always evil. But now time is caught up with him. Before then, I wasn't evil. But now, I am evil. One day, if something evil happens to me, you will hear. So, you see, somebody told me, a friend called me and said, Apostle, I spoke to so because I'm not going to mention family members' name because this is a very difficult time for both families. Oh, Jesus. You people, you don't have any clue what is going on. Oh, you are, hey, this one is demon. What are you? What are you? I am very critical about people. I am very critical about people who look for death in people when they are down. I'm very critical about people who are looking for death in other people's lives when something evil has happened. Nobody will say a man killed somebody and it is right. Let us clap for him. Man, who in their right mind does that? Murder is happening. Somebody has killed his wife. My question is, what makes a man shoot his wife 7 times? What kind of anger is that? What kind of anger is that? Except we have no belief anymore. Let's forget about this. But those of you who call yourself Christians, sit down again and ask important questions. I ask him, Sylvester, are you telling me the God you cast out demons in their name, the God you prophesy in his name, he now doesn't exist? Is that what you are telling me? Somebody's going to say, oh, he was never born again. What do you mean? Since you became born again, haven't you sinned before? Does it make you less born again or more born again? Or, when you kill somebody, it's a big sin. When you lie, it is a normal sin. Every sin is sin. So if you are thinking he wasn't born again, I submit to you, if you have ever sinned, you are also not born again. Because the Bible says he who has the seed of God in him cannot sin. So if you have ever sinned before, the seed of God is not in you. Let us not be so judgmental. Let's ask ourselves, it can be me. It can be me. That's when something happens to somebody, I immediately put myself in that shoes and say, it can be me. So if it was me, this is how they will treat me. Then Nana, you have to check your life very well. But my pain is why my friend will allow himself to get to this point. That is my pain. I'm sitting down every day and I'm thinking, what is he thinking about now? What is my friend thinking about now? What is he telling himself now? After hearing the shot in his own ears now, after everything is settled, whatever that was happening, now that it is settled, and he's hearing or seeing the pictures of himself shooting his wife, what is going through his head now? What is going through his head? What is going through his head? What he's going through now, in my mind, is worse than death. It's worse than death. You see, most of you only see physical death, the act of somebody shooting somebody and killing them. You see only the act, the things you have said to people. Some of you, the things you have said to people, if you had shot them, they will have appreciated it. Nobody says doing harm to anybody is good. Oh. I have 3 daughters. I have 3 daughters. Oh. Some of you don't even have a chicken. You don't even know what it is to raise a child. I have 3 daughters and I'm thinking, what will I do if this happened to my daughter? God forbid. What will be my reaction? I have 3 daughters. 3 daughters. 3 daughters that I am raising. And I raise them to they finish university, get themselves a job, and somebody kills them. What will I do? What will I say? But you see, when it's not close to you, it's not painful. No? You can say everything you say from a distance because you can't relate. You can't relate. I don't know what I would do if I didn't know Sylvester and know Barbara. I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. I have no clue what I would do. Maybe I'll be so insensitive, walk away. I wouldn't be saying anything, but probably I won't feel any pain. But it is different. I know them. So I'm thinking, these two people I know, I never saw anything. I never saw the possibility of this thing happening. I don't know. I never saw the possibility of this happening. People, it is not what we see. Let's look beyond. I mean, this is the question. I'm trying to make sense out of this tragedy. I'm trying so hard to figure out what really got into my brother, what really got into my friend to do this. How did he lose it entirely? How did he get it all twisted? How? And look at the name that he's going to leave behind. How? But on the flip side, I said, Nana, next time you better watch out. You better watch out. Sometimes I watch comments on Facebook and I tell myself, Nana, very watch out with some of these people who come to your Facebook and clap for you. Don't ever trust them. Because the day you make the mistake of your life and even drop an ant from a table and they find it, that same people who come to your platform will look for the worst nail and crush you. I'm watching some of the comments and my heart, I wish I could even close my Facebook and not see these things. People, I am telling you this thing. If you find an abusive person, two things you can do for them. Seek for help for them. Pray for them. If you don't want to help them, leave them. But I am telling you, any person who abuses anybody, they themselves have done that 1,000,000 times to themselves. I'm telling you. They are in a worse position than what they can do to anybody. I'm telling you. You see, we have not been trained to think in different ways. We have not been trained to think like that. But anybody who can do harm to anybody has done harm to themselves many times. But sometimes we don't even seek help for ourselves. Sometimes we don't even know we have a serious problem. Sometimes we don't even know the kind of sickness that is killing us. We don't know. You don't know. You don't know. I have this statement, you never say never. I believe, I never say never. Because I don't know until I'm dead. I don't know. You will never know until it is over. You never know. You will never know. You will never know. You will never know. Anybody who's ever abused anybody, I'm telling you, they are themselves killing themselves. Haven't you heard recently pastors killing themselves? Haven't you? It's not news, so because they didn't kill anybody, they killed themselves. They killed pastors, killing themselves, taking their own lives. because they have been dealing with excessive stress and they couldn't talk about it. And the next morning they found them hanging, killed themselves. Some go to sit in their offices and shoot themselves and they kill themselves. We are so unsympathetic. That's why people, you see, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. You can turn your back, it's easy. But me, I will not turn my back on Sylvester. Those it bothers, they can walk away. I was living my life before I met you. I live my life after you. Really, I don't even think I need you, because the same way you can do it to me, so I don't even want to have you around. I'll be glad I never see your face again, because I can't trust you. But I don't know what you do in your private life. I don't know what you do in your secret, but I'm telling you, Sylvester, it's unfortunate this will happen to him. For me, it is very unfortunate that this thing can get to him for him to do what he did. But that's not the Sylvester I met. That's not the Sylvester I knew. Coffee Friday is here. Ask him. That's not the Sylvester I know. Something definitely had gone wrong. And it is, and I'll say this thing, I'll say it till I die. It is part of the people who he trusted and they betrayed his trust. It's part of the reason why Sylvester left the faith. A man who had everything ahead of him, for him to throw it away, there must be a reason. You and I are not in the position to know the full story. You and I don't know the full story. But I've watched Facebook. I've seen the comments. I've seen the videos. I've seen the commentaries. And I've seen how the heart of men are wicked. You don't love Barbara. You don't. You enjoy the drama that is going on. I say pastors are committing suicide on a daily basis. It has never become news. But it looks as if we black people, we wait till something tragic happens to you. And then we'll come to tell you what we have been thinking about you all this while. There are some of us talking about Sylvester today, we don't know him. Never met the man. People he has helped, now we call him occultic. People he has helped. I said, I have received calls from people telling me, Apostle, the way you analyze the story, it looks as if you have an understanding of mental health. I said I'm not a mental health practitioner, but God is blessed. I look at stories not just from the way I feel, but I put myself in a person's shoe, and I want to understand what will make me pull a gun and shoot my wife, not his brother that beat me. I put myself in that. Where will I have been? No, let's say I am occultic. Let's say I am occultic. That's what you like. Let's say I am occultic. And I need blood. If I kill my wife and I go to jail, do I get the blood? No, does it make sense? Does it make sense? There's more to the story. There is more to the story. And stop all this hearsay they say, and somebody will go out and put a nasty message about Barbara. Something you don't know. Why do you want to do all these things? Are these the people? Did you love them? Did you love them? Okay. If I want to kill my wife for occultic purposes, then I go to shoot her and she dies. What benefit has this come? That a man will leave his church. A man builds a church. Churches, pastors are struggling to build. Ask pastors who have planted churches. Some have planted churches for 10 years and they have only 10 members. And this guy builds this church and he wants to throw everything away. You think it's just coincidence? Okay, please keep living. Please keep living. But for those of you who are sending me messages, Apostle call a spade a spade. He killed his wife. Did I say he resurrected his wife? I am telling you, be very careful what you say when you don't know what you are saying. You saw the act, you don't know what brought it there. It is more than 7 bullets. What happened? It's more than that. There's more to the story than you and I will ever know. Please, please, the demonization is enough. The demonization is enough. The demonization is enough. The demonization is enough. Let the families grieve. Please, please. You don't even know them. And for those of you who also benefited from him, who are now saying all dirty things about him, it shall be well also with you. For those of you who benefited from him, Coffee Friday is here. He tells the story how he was all out and Sylvester held him back up through the power of God. Now he's evil. Now he's evil. He has never done anything good. People, let's be very careful. What has happened, none of us will understand. It is a very tragic thing that has happened. But please, please, if we have said some, it's okay. Stop calling names you never know. Because the things I'm hearing is so sad. Those who are saying negative things about Barbara are saying it. And then they come back to say they love her. Please, please, there's more to this story than you and I will ever know. Let's let sleeping dogs lie. Let the dead just sleep. Let the dead sleep. Please, please, please. There's more to the story. Yes, he shot his wife. Yes, that is the act. What led to this? What is the full story? You and I will never know. And if you think in any way, shape, or form that I'll come and demonize Sylvester, it's a lie. It's a lie. I'm not going to do it. And if for that reason you can't reconcile with it, I will advise you go back and unfriend me. I don't want you. I don't really care about that. I don't even want you for a friend in the first place. Because one day, I'll be the next victim on your list. As long as I live, in my pursuit of holiness, I don't know what can happen to me. I don't know. But I just know what has happened for Sylvester can happen to me. And this same way, I'll be treated. If I have only one person who loves me genuinely, I want to stay with them. If not for ministry, I'll close my Facebook account. This thing, in fact, when the Bible says the heart of man is desperately wicked, it's not just to the wicked, it's to all of us who stand back when things happen the way we act. Look at the names. Look at the names. Look at the names some preachers are calling Sylvester today. Look at the name. Some preachers are calling him today. A man, some of you had not even heard his name before. Had it not been for this unfortunate incident. Hey, it can happen to you. 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 Sometimes even the wicked cries out more foul when something goes wrong. But you know, I have children as well. See, this is what I'm saying. You see, people are making hasty statements. Look, somebody said Sylvester should be demonized no matter what, as a man of God unable to handle temptations. Who said? The man had left Christianity. The man had denounced the faith. So why are you still tying him to man of God? The man had left. But you see, you don't care about why even the man left. What will make him leave his church and denounce Christ? You don't care. You don't care. See, this is the pain. You don't care. Let me do myself a favor. Block him out of my Facebook. You don't even know the story. You don't know the story. You don't know the story. But your hatred for church, for the clergy, and your enjoyment of escalating and enlarging evil is so much prevalent that you can't stop from speaking evil. The man had left the faith. Why did he leave the faith? It's my concern. Why had the man left and said, I am no more pastoring a church. I want to just go and live my life. Why will a man build a church and then come back and leave the church and say, you know what, I want to live my life. I'm not pastoring the church anymore. This is God. It can see the reason why I worry about this is it can happen to me. I don't know what can happen to me along my life. I don't know. You see, I'm still living, so I don't know what can happen as long as I live. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what can happen to me as I'm living my life on a daily basis. Anything just from now till I get up, I don't know what can happen, which can destroy everything I've built. The path that leads to destruction is not always carved in sincerity. The path that leads to destruction is not always evident. Why will a man build the church and says, I don't believe in this thing I did all these years. I'm giving it up. I'm going on another way. It should bother me. I am not more of a man than him. I can get to that point of one day saying, you know what, I'm tired of this faith. If it happened to Bishop Carlton Pearson, a renowned international mega preacher who one day got up and said, I have a new revelation. I don't believe in this thing anymore. All these things I preached when I was 14 years. In my 50s, I don't believe them anymore. That is, let's tell you, this world we live in is not over until God says it's over. So please, let's leave this family to mourn. For some of us, we have worse things in our family. It's just not come out to the light yet. Let's leave them. But please, I'm begging some of you, stop sending me all those messages. I want to read them. Or I'll block you. I don't want to know. Say anything you want to say about the man. It won't change anything. What is done is done. But my prayer is, may my friend find Christ again. May my friend Sylvester find Christ again. Because he left. I don't know why he left. I know part of the story is because he got sick of people who took advantage of him. And stopped believing because people he trusted were up there, let him down. And everybody responds to trouble differently. Everybody responds to trouble differently. I don't know how much of hatred you have for him. But me, I want to find out what will make a man do what he did. That is my worry as a human being. That's my worry as a human being. And that's my pain for my friend. That why did he throw everything away and end up this way? This is the last time I'm talking about this issue. I've said what I will say. I've said what I can say. I leave the rest in the hands of God. I leave the rest in the hands of God. But let this be a lesson for all of us. If you are listening to me and you are dealing with any excessive trouble that you are not talking to anybody about, I advise you, find a friend, find somebody, find a specialist, find somebody you can confide in. Find somebody you can confide in and talk to them. Please, please. Don't wait till it's too late. If you are dealing with something, find somebody who truly cares about you and confide in them. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Don't wait till it's too late. If there's anything you are dealing with that is beyond your control, please, please seek for help. Seek for help. And see, if you are listening to me, you are a man, you are a woman, you are in any form of abusive relationship, something is not right. Please don't hope things will change. Seek for help. Seek for help. For in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Seek for help. Seek for proper and professional help before it gets out of hand. No mountain is too high to climb. Please, 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 if you are dealing with anything that you think is overwhelming you, don't bottle them in. Don't be there and do and no, please find some place, find someone and try to speak to somebody. A problem shared is a problem solved. A problem shared is a problem solved. Don't keep it to yourself. If you are in any relationship that there is abuse, the abuser has a problem as much as what he's doing. Seek for help. Don't be quiet. Don't just pray. When you pray, you watch as well. Go and seek for help. Talk to somebody. Seek for professional help. If they are beating you in the house and your pastor is telling you, go back home, tell that pastor, you can't help me. Look for somebody who can talk sense to you and to the person. Look for help. Look for help. Please, don't sit down for it to get too late. Seek for help. Seek for help. A story somebody called me and was telling me. My wife was sitting down and she was crying because she couldn't believe the story. She was crying. She was crying. She was crying. She was crying. And I said, this is the world we are living in. But we need to seek for proper and professional help until it gets out of control. Seek for help as you pray. Don't just be praying. As you are praying, you are seeking for the corresponding help. Otherwise, You will pray yourself to the grave. And for those of us who are God's second cousin, who are always right, I pray for you that may you never find trouble. Because I guarantee the day you find them, you will not find help. I'm telling you, the measure with which you met out, it shall be meted out to you. I'm telling you. I've been thinking this past week. Sometimes when I'm quiet by myself, I'll ask questions. Is this thing true that this has happened? Why? I wish I can speak to my friend now and ask him, Sylvester, what was happening? What went through your head? I want to know. I just want to know. I want to know. But until I know, I will not be able to say anything. No. The man I knew is not the man I see now. The man I knew is not the man I see now. May God help all of us. May God help all of us to order our steps. May God help all of us to order our steps, 1, to learn from what has just happened, 2, and to seek the necessary help before it gets too late. But just learn that if something bad happens to you, the very ones who used to clap for you will be the ones who will be slapping you. The ones who used to clap for you will be the ones who will be speaking all the evil about you. Let's seek for help and learn from this. For me, within these few weeks, this 1 week, I've learned a lot of silent lessons. I've learned a lot of silent lessons. Sometimes my sleep is cut short. I can't go to work. I am so distraught. I'm thinking, hey, Nana, it could have been you. It can be you. You never know that point in your life where you break. You never know. You have never gotten to the point yet where you break. You've never gotten there where something really happens that you lose it. You've never gotten there. You've never gotten there. Pray you don't get there. Pray. Me, instead of judging somebody, I'll pray that God help me that I don't get that far. I pray that God, may I not get that far in life. I pray. Hey. I've lived a while, oh. I didn't know I can break down. Seriously, sometimes I thought I was unbreakable. But this few weeks, a week now, it's taught me a different lesson about myself. That, Nana, you still got some things left inside of you. You can be troubled. And I have properly been troubled, I'm telling you. I've been very, very troubled. I didn't know I had such a heart for other people like that. This week has taught me some things about my own self. And it's made me a little afraid. I'll tell you, I've been more cautious even the way I talk to my wife. I've been very, very cautious. The way I treat my wife even now is changed. Normally, if you ask me for money and I don't have it, my countenance will change. But now, even if she asks me money, I don't have it, I'm thinking how to get the money for her. Because I am more cautious now. Because I realize, man, everybody is vulnerable. Every one of us is vulnerable. I'm telling you, it's changed. The way I talk to my wife, it's changed. I've been always nice to my wife. I'm not an angel. I will never hate my wife. I'm telling you, if I get so upset, I'll leave the house. I'll go and walk for 2 hours. By the time I come back, I'll back in my senses. But I've come to realize I am a human being, real human being. So I am more, I'm like cooling my head more. I'm not letting things worry me anymore because I know that life is very short. We always say it until it gets close to our door. Oh, Nico, me, you see, I've seen a lot of comments. I've seen people sending messages. I've seen people saying all those things. But you see, from this short time, I look at life different. I look at it, I say, Nana, don't pay attention to them, Don't. You see, don't say anything nasty. Don't do anything. Just see it, walk away from it. See it, walk away from it. Train yourself. Hold yourself down. Live one day as your last day. Live one day as your last day. You will be right. But I'm telling you, the way I even relate to my wife has changed. I'm telling you, I look at the comments people are writing. If I want to block you, I block you. I don't say anything to you. I just block you. I just get rid of you. I don't say anything to you. I just block you. Just move on with my life. I have too short a life to waste answering every comment, every negative comment. Somebody takes 4 minutes of a video of preaching I've done, and end of the service, they are giving offering. And the man, a blogger who doesn't have anything to do, take that video and then showcase it and say, oh, this man was saying he went to Sylvester Church not for money. What is he doing? And I'm like, you see, when you are dealing with people who are not intelligent, he thinks I went there for money because the church is giving offering. When they gave the offering, what did the offering come to me or it went to the church? The offering is not for me. The offering did not come to me. And I can tell you how much money they gave me when I went to preach for Sylvester. And Kofi Friday is on the line. He will testify. Mama Verna is on the line. Mama Verna is the secretary. She puts the money in my hand. How much did they give to me? How much did they give to me? When I went to the US, the shoe my sister bought for me. The shoe my sister bought for me. That I didn't preach. If I don't preach, I just go to visit my sister. I'm better off. I'm telling you. The shoe my sister bought for me alone to wear. The shoe my sister bought for me. So, if somebody wants to find debt on you, you have to do yourself the dignified thing of saying, I am higher than this. I'm not going to come down. No, at all. I don't live to look for money. I'm telling you by the grace of God. I have a mother in London. You know my biological mother. She's not my biological mother. She saw me preaching. She used to be in my church. Every time I go to London, and my mother knows I'm coming to London. I live outside of London. Anytime I go to London, and my mother knows I'm coming to London, she will shop in my car till my car boot is full. She can call me and my wife and say, come to London. I need to do shopping for you. I don't ask for it. I don't do this thing for money. So if you see people giving offering in the church, it's not for me. It's for the church. And the church is not my church. I went there to add, not to take. So if somebody want to find debt on me, I tell them they should work really hard. But as you seek for my downfall, so will men seek for your downfall. And we'll see who will fall first. I'm telling you. I see a lot of nasty things people write to me. I don't respond. I don't react. I don't even pay attention. Because what I am doing, I know what I'm doing. I'm saying this again. I am not an occupational preacher. I don't preach because I need money. Everything I have bought in my life, I worked hard for them, not preaching. And I can tell you, ask every preacher I've gone to preach for, how much did they give to me? Ask them. Ask all the preachers. You go to my Facebook, you see all the people I've preached for. Ask them, how much did you give to him when he preached for you? Serious people, if you have any problem, serious problem, seek for professional help. As you are praying, you are seeking for help. As you are praying, love the people around you. Love the people who care about you. Love the people who treat you right. Because I'm telling you, life is so short. And tomorrow when something bad happens to you, the evil they will say about you, you will never believe it. I'm closing. I'm lightening up. I think this video just freed me. Because I've been very heavy throughout the week. I've been very, very down. I'm telling you. I've been very, very down. I've been very, very down. I remember it was Saturday, Friday, Saturday. I was driving in town. Then I got a message on my phone from my wife. It doesn't happen very often. You know, when you are dating, it's different. But when you get married, it's also a different game. So I don't remember the last time I received such a message from my wife. It was a love message. And she was saying, baby, when you are stressing, know I still love you and I'm here for you. I was like, oh, wow. 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 It takes sometimes trouble to make you realize what you have. And it was such a precious message to me. But I was still sad because I've been very sad since last week. Yeah, I think 2 days ago, I was speaking to Sylvester's senior brother. I was so emotional. I was crying on the phone. I was crying like it is a family member that something. I didn't know I loved this guy like that. I didn't even know I loved Sylvester like that. I didn't know I loved him like that. Seriously, I'm telling you. I didn't even know I loved the guy like that. I loved him like my own kid brother. I loved him like I don't know. This thing has bothered me. It's bothered me so much. It's bothered me that when I talk about it, I begin to cry. And my wife saw that I become emotional about this. And I knew Barbara. I knew Sylvester. I knew them. I didn't think it would be that difficult on me like it is now. I didn't think. People, love the people around you. Treat the people you have with respect. And please, if somebody shows you affection, don't play it down. If somebody gives you their time, don't trash it because it's a very expensive thing. I'm telling you. I didn't know I had that love for Sylvester and Barbara. I didn't know. I knew we had a relationship, but it was distant. But I didn't know I cared about Sylvester like that. Until this thing happened, I'm like, I'm so heartbroken. I'm telling you, I didn't know I had a soft spot until this thing. I didn't know. This thing is really shaking my core. I'm telling you. I'm trying to recover. I go to work, I come back home. I do my own work. So when I go and I'm tired, my mind is so hot, I don't enjoy what I'm doing. So I come back home. I come to sleep and I feel like I'm sick, nauseated. I'm like, what's happening to me? Did you love this guy like that? I do. I realize I did. And I'm not going to back out. In spite of, you can say anything you want to say, but I'm not changing my stand for Sylvester and Barbara. You can say anything you want to say, but for me, there's more to the story. I didn't know I loved this guy like that. I didn't know I loved Barbara like that. These are young people. I'm getting into my 50s. I'm not young. I'm older than Sylvester. I didn't know I loved that guy like that. I didn't know. I didn't know. Treat the people who care about you with respect and dignity. You will not always have them. And please, when something happens, sit down, analytically think through it. Don't be rash because of emotion and say something that one day you stand before God And God will say, you did all well, but you spoke about something you had no business speaking about, because all the things you said were not factual, they were just emotional. And last but not the least, see the good in people. Don't look for the bad in them. There's too much bad already in the world. Seek the good in others. Look for the good in people. See the beautiful things people are doing and wish you can help. Don't look for the evil in people. Don't be rash to brand anything evil because it doesn't make sense to you. There's more to life than meets the eye. A word to the wise is enough. God bless you all for taking the time to be here. But I pray that God will hold you and I, that we will not slip out of the way. It doesn't matter what anybody does to you. It is not God who did it to you. It doesn't matter how much they betray you. It is not God who betrayed you. It could have been a pastor, but that was not God. It could have been somebody who professed the name of God, but it's not God who betrayed you. Don't let the wickedness of men make you move away from the love of God. Don't let the wickedness of men cause you to move away from the love of God. It could be men who hurt you, but God still loves you. And don't let this destroy your faith. Don't let this destroy what you are doing for the Lord. Don't let this change your attitude towards the things of God. And don't let this make you generalize that every prophet, every pastor, every teacher is evil. No. All cannot be evil. All cannot be good. There are some good ones. There are some bad ones. There are some snakes. There are some people. Look for the good in people. Look for the good in people. Look for the good in people. Somebody will come to watch my video and then they go, why are you screaming? Why are you watching? Why am I screaming? Why are you watching? I am doing the video. It's not by force you have to watch. So they can't see the good you do. They are only looking for what they can criticize. Why is he shouting? Why are you also watching? If you don't like shouting, you move on. There's so many things happening on social media. So if you don't like the one who's shouting, go and look for the one who's harming. But the one who put death on you. Look for the good in people. Look at what they are doing. There's always good, even in the most worst scenario. There's always good that you can find if you have an eye looking for good. For to the pure, all things are pure. To the pure, all things are pure. If you have an eye that looks for good, you will see good. But some people can't see good. They only can see evil. They are always looking to see evil. And what you look for, you will find. Whatever you are looking to see, you will find. You will find. I'm telling you, so please, let's try to look for the good in others. Let's try. Let's try to look for the good in others and magnify the good, that peradventure the good will silence the bad. If we can find the good, see, that is why, see, I can sit here and mention names of some crooked men of God. I will never do it. Not because I'm afraid of them. The last thing I have ever done in my life is to be afraid of another human being. I have zero fear for human beings. But still, I'm hoping there will be some good in them. Now, you know, if I come to smear a man today and tomorrow he changes, what am I going to do? If I come to smear a man today and tomorrow he changes, what am I going to do? Will I have to come here and apologize or just keep quiet like nothing happened? No. What I don't understand, I don't speak about. What I cannot pinpoint to, I don't say anything about. I let it pass because I'm not God. I can't save the world. I can do the little I can and leave the rest for God. Please, please, look for good. Look for good. Look for good. Look for good in others. Don't always wish you can see evil. Because what you are wishing to see is the picture you will see. What you are wishing to see is what you will see. But if you can look at a person and ask yourself the honest question, why are they doing what they are doing? Immediately you ask, why are they doing what they are doing? Your judgmental glasses falls off and your critical glasses comes on. And the question now is, what can I do to help in what they are doing? If it is negative, how can I help them? If it is positive, how can I help them to continue to do what they are doing? But if you are always looking for evil, to announce evil, to talk about evil, there will be a lot of opportunities to do. In like manner, there are many opportunities to look for the good in other people and lift it. I tell you, whatever you want to see, you can see it. All the things I've done on social media, have you seen any blogger take anything to talk about me? No. They look for 4 minutes of offering that was taken in the church. And that was what that blogger could see. The only image, because he thinks in his childish mind, in his uneducated mind, he thinks that 4 minutes video can destroy me. Do you know how many years I have survived? Names. Go to Holland and ask them, what did they not say about me in the city of The Hague? Go, ask them. Ask those who know me in The Hague. They had a lot of names. They have a lot of names. They call me that Accra boy, that boy, that boy, that boy, that. But I survived. Because all the things they said about me was just a misunderstanding of who I am. But I stayed true to who I am. I've never changed. All the days from Holland, I'm still the same person. Anybody who knows will tell you this guy has not changed. I'm just the same person. I call a spade a spade. And a new terminology a friend has said, not an agricultural tool. A spade is a spade. I don't know how to bend things. I've been like this for all my life. They didn't understand. They branded me in names. So your 4 minutes video can't destroy me. If it was true that I was a criminal, I'll be bothered. But me, I know since I was born to today, there is not a single human being under this sun who can say, I have told them, I saw this, give me £1. I saw this, give me this. Me, God forbid. God forbid. There's not a single human being that can say, me, Apostle Nana Agyei, I called them or came to their church. There's not a single pastor who can tell you, me, I came to their church and took church members' telephone number. I don't want to be friend to anybody's church members. Ask any pastor I have preached for. I went to Ghana 2 years ago in May to preach. I preached for a lady prophetess one all night. And the Lord used me to minister to a lady in the service. The Lord used me to minister to a lady in the service whose husband is a very wealthy man. One big guy in one of the banks in Ghana. And what I spoke about the lady was true. They knew it. I don't know the lady. So they made an appointment, picked me and took me to that rich man's house to introduce me to that rich man. And the prophetess insisted the man give me his number. The man gave me his number. When we got out of the house, I deleted the number from my phone. I said to myself, I don't need his telephone number. Is it because he's rich? I don't need his money. I'm never going to call him. I don't want to talk to him. What is done in the church is finished. He's not my friend. He's your member, not my friend. I will not. What do I need his number for? I don't want to talk to him. He's not my friend. It's not because he's rich, I'm going to call him. When we got out of the house, I deleted the number from my phone. I've never called them. I don't even know his number. I don't even care. See, if God will bless me, I don't have to steal. I don't have to lie to anybody. Even if I don't become rich, I don't lose anything. Some people were not even lucky. They were not born. Some didn't even spend 2 days on the earth. They died. I've lived almost 50 years on this planet. I have tried. There are some who are now yet looking for visa to come to Europe. I'm already here. I've tried. I'm not in the competition with anybody. I don't have to build a house to prove that I am successful. Please, I'm happy with my little life. But you can't use 4 minutes video to destroy me. In fact, you are rather introducing me to new people who will go and look at who is this guy. They will insult me, but they will go and look for me. And then they realize he's not what they said he is. And that is the job you did for free. You did a free advertisement for me. I didn't ask you for. You are even connecting me to new people for free. Because you never shared anything good I did. You went to look for debt on me. Go to Florida and ask them. When I came there, if I took anybody's money, you can't destroy me for 4 minutes. I'm bigger than 4 minutes. I'm a very content man. I'm not greedy, so I'm not trapped. But even that, I'm still very careful the way I live my life. I'm very careful the way I live my life. I'm not an angel, but I know the wickedness in a man's heart, which I don't look for, but I look for the good in people. I try to see the little good in them, because in everybody, there's God in them. If you can take time, you can see the God in every one of us. People, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Don't be quick to judge. Don't be quick to judge. Be patient. Be patient. For the measure with which you met, the same shall be meted out to you. Please, let's do our little best. If I'm looking for good in you, and you are looking for good in me, how can we do each other evil? If I wake up and think of doing you good, and you wake up and you think of doing me good, how can we do each other evil? We can't. We can only love each other. We can only lift each other. We can only build each other. We can only show each other the way to elevation. We can only love. You see, love is so powerful. It will make me rebuke you, but correct you. I won't condone. I'll rebuke you, but you know it's not for distraction. It's for the love I have for you. Let's not look for death. Let's look for the good in people. God bless you. And I pray all of us, that God will protect us. That the worst in us will not become the defining moment for our lives. The worst in us will not become the defining moment for us. That you will strive to let the good in you outshine the bad in you. That your light will overshadow your darkness. Please, 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 look for the good in others. And don't be caught up in your emotions. God bless you. And I hope you become a positive change. And look out for people who are suffering. There's somebody next to you. They are not talking, but they are dying. If you show a little concern, they might open up to you. And you might have saved a life. This has been my pain. I'm asking myself, Nana, did you not pray enough for them? Did you not pray enough? Did you not pray enough? Nana, and my wife will tell me, Nana, don't beat yourself. You did what you can do. Just let it slide. It's difficult to let it slide. I'm asking myself, Nana, maybe you didn't pray hard enough for them. Nana, maybe you didn't. If you had, maybe something will have changed. I'm telling you. That's what I've been telling you. Nana, maybe if you've taken the little time if you've taken a little time out of your time, if you've just not been just about you and you've taken a little time and prayed a little harder and a little more for them, probably this wouldn't have happened. Probably God will have showed you something. Probably you'll have heard a word and spoken to somebody. Hi. Life. Life. Please, pray also for us. Pray for us, especially pastors. Especially pastors. Pray for them. Oh. Pray for them. I'm telling you, pray for them. Some of them are suffering, but they can't tell anybody. Some pastors are suicidal as I speak to you. Some pastors are considering taking their own lives. As I'm speaking now, there are pastors who are sitting down contemplating, should I end it? Should I end it? Should I end it? Should I end it? Don't make the bad things you see in ministry make you think everybody is bad. Oh. There are a few good ones who are truly suffering. There are a few good ones who are truly suffering. And they are asking themselves, is it good to be good or is it good to be bad? You know, all these things you will not see until something evil is happening to them. You will not see all these struggles they deal with. Oh. All you see is something is happening to them. And you jump on their neck and you say, he's a man of God, he should have known better. Yes, it's true. But it's easier said than done. But you are a child of God. You also should have known better than to just kill them in their already dead state. May God have mercy. 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 Hey. There are times men of God suffer. Some don't. Some, I said, even today, some don't know what they will eat. They don't know what they are going to tell their spouses. They don't know what they will tell their children. They are so financially tight. And somebody say, oh, they are lazy. They should go and look for a job. Really? They should go and look for a job. Yes. That's one of the main reasons, apart from God telling me, one of the main reasons I shut my church in London. I went to church one Sunday and I told the congregation, I'm telling you, I didn't have a problem with rent or anything. I had people who paid the church rent from their own pocket. I had women who paid the church rent from their own pocket. But one day the Lord spoke to me, Nana, close the church. Close it. Close it. Took me 3 weeks. I was struggling. I couldn't even tell my wife. One Sunday I went to church. I preached my most powerful message. When I finished, I told them today is the last day. I'm closing the church. They started to cry. Call my wife. Please talk to him. Talk. I said, this is what the Lord told me. I'm not going to die trying to do what I want to do. I closed the church. People don't know the things we deal with trying to help people. I closed the church. I can't be bothered. I'm telling you now, I even thought I'm still lazy to preach. Preaching is not the funniest thing for me. I closed the church and I said, you know what? I'm not going to have this headache. And since that time, I've had prophecies upon prophecies upon prophecies from prophets who know me and don't know me, calling me and mentioning the name of my church and said, Apostle, the Lord is saying, start the church. I'm like, he must speak to me myself because I don't want to do this. People don't understand. They think it's glamour. It is not always beautiful like you think. Oh. Especially when you want to do right, it's very, very difficult. And it can destroy you emotionally. I'm telling you. It can destroy you emotionally. You can go blank and dead. You don't know, eh? I went a whole year without going to church. Me. I went a whole year. I didn't go to church. I was so heavy. I was so heavy stricken for a whole year. I didn't step my foot in church. I stayed home. Every Sunday I was home. I didn't go anywhere. I was home. And my wife was worried. My wife was worried. My wife would tell me, Nana, God has called you. Why are you doing this to yourself? I said, you know what? This thing called ministry, if you don't take time, you will die in the process. It's not a simple thing. It's not a simple thing at all. It's not a simple thing. I was glad when I closed the church. I was very happy. It was like a burden is lifted off of my shoulder. I closed the church, mercy. I closed the church. I closed it. I closed it. Oh. I have this godmother. She would call me and say, Apostle. She was like, Apostle. I said, Mama, it's done, you know, it's done. I'm not doing it anymore. It's done. It's done. I'm not doing this anymore. I closed it and I just moved on. And the people were crying, but I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm done. You know, I'm done. People, you don't understand. You think preaching or ministry is glamour. Man, if you want to do something bad, that's true. Because as long as you can sleep with some of the girls and embezzle church funds, it is fun. But it's fun. But if you want to do something honestly from your heart, it is a very, very difficult thing. It is a very, very difficult thing. And I thank God. When I closed it, it was a clear voice from the Lord saying, Nana, close the church. I said, God, I'll do it. I closed it. And God was very good to me. Has been very, very good to me. God has shown me kindness. He's been good to me. But the voice is coming back again. And then you have to go back. I'm like, God, let's do what we are doing. I'm still preaching to your people. Those who I don't have to put them in the building. I don't have to. I don't need to gather them anywhere. I can preach here. Those who will hear. Preach to all the ends of the world. I don't want to start a church. I don't want to do it again. I'm done. I'm done with this game. I'm not going to let anybody push me out of heaven. I asked my daughter, who's 11, just went to secondary school. I go to church in a friend's church. Yeah, I go to church. And I woke up one Sunday. I didn't know how my daughter knew I was going to preach. And she comes to me and said, Daddy, are you preaching tomorrow? I said, yes. He said, but you never tell me when you are going to preach. I said, since when did you want to know if I'm going to preach? He said, I want to know. I don't want to get to church in surprise and see you preaching. So I asked my daughter the question, do you think your father is a good preacher? Do you think this is what your father should do? And she said, Daddy, what question are you asking me? That is not a question to ask. I know you are a fantastic preacher. My daughter is 11 years old. Very intelligent young girl. And I said, really, you think your father is that good? She said, Daddy, that's an understatement. You're good at what you do. I laughed. I said in my head, my daughter doesn't understand the complexity of what her father does. This thing can kill you before your time. Ministry can kill you before your time. Pray for us. Pray for us. There are people who are looking for death. They are looking for how to malign our names. They are looking for how to destroy us. God knows where they take our names, and now with social media, where they take our pictures. And then they tell, oh, pastors are lazy. And I tell them, you can never work as hard as I work. Half what I do. If you meet me on any job, any day, you will not be a match for me. I have never worked anywhere where I was not promoted on a very fast rate. Everywhere I've gone, I've become a leader. Everywhere I've entered, even if I am quiet, they will pick me out of the crowd. People, let's be very patient with people and look for the good in them. Yeah, let's be patient and look for the good in people. Let's be patient and look for the good in people. Sometimes I say this, people don't understand. I don't know if it's not for my wife, what I will have been doing. Maybe I will have stopped preaching a long time ago. Not just church, I will have stopped preaching entirely. I will have stopped preaching entirely. There was a time I didn't want to do this ever again. I had closed my Bible. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this thing. I'm done with this thing. I was like, no, God, this can't be for me. You know, but I always remember that when my father was young, they told me my father used to preach. And my father stopped. And my father went into the world. Made money in the world. But died very early after he lost everything. So that message keeps ringing in my ear. That Nana, what is happening to you now? You are an extension of your father. There's grace that was on your father that has come upon you. Don't abandon the call of God upon your life. But the call of God is not a glamorous thing. The call of God is not a glamorous thing at all. I'm telling you. It's not something, it's not fanfare. It's not an interesting thing at all. I don't see the glamour of ministry. I don't see the glamour of ministry. Except you are doing something terrible. But if it is about people, it is about development, it's about drawing people to God. My brother, if you don't take time, you commit suicide along the line. Because when you are depressed, when things are down and nobody is there to hold your hand up, you wish you were not born. I'm not even talking about spiritual attacks. But I thank God. I thank God. I thank God. I thank God for a godly wife who always stands with me and encourages me and believes in my ministry and believes in what God has called me to do and keeps encouraging me to keep on with the faith. But there are days it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Just like what happened to my friend. It doesn't make sense. I will never fully understand this. Please, pray for us. Look for good in others. And let God help all of us. God bless you. And have a wonderful day. And I've come to love this guy. There's a guy in Ghana called Famia. And I've been listening to his songs, some of the songs he's playing, and he's been saying some things that if you are down, they wish you well. The moment you make it, they wish you hell. If you are down, they wish you well. The moment you make it, they wish you hell. When you are suffering, they hope you become well. And the moment you make it, they now wish hell for you. They pray something evil happens to you. They want to look for something dirty on you. They want to find out how they can smear your character, smear your personality, look for fault in everything you do.